In business, the only thing that matters is how fast you can learn. Most entrepreneurs treat their startup like a rocket ship. They spend years planning the perfect launch. But a startup isn't a rocket ship. It's a car driving through fog. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a steering wheel that lets you turn quickly. The goal of the lean startup is to minimize the total time through the feedback loop. It's not about being cheap, it's about being fast. It's about failing quickly so you can succeed sooner. Stop polishing your prototype. It's time to get your hands dirty. Here are the 10 lessons to validate your idea before you run out of money. Lesson 1. The build, measure, learn loop. Your only goal is to minimize the time it takes to go through this loop. Forget your 5-year business plan. The heartbeat of your company is the build, measure, learn loop. First, you build a small experiment. Then, you measure how customers react using real data. Finally, you learn whether to pivot or persevere. Most companies spend way too much time on the build phase. They want it perfect. Reese says, speed is the currency. If it takes you 6 months to get through this loop, you will die. If you can get through it in 6 days, you will win. Don't build a product, build a learning machine. Lesson 2. The embarrassment rule. If you aren't embarrassed by the first version of your product, you launched too late. We are all perfectionists. We want to look good. But in a startup, perfectionism is just procrastination in a fancy suit. You need a minimum viable product. This isn't a buggy product. It is the smallest thing you can build that allows you to start the learning loop. Think of Dropbox. Their MVP wasn't the software. It was a 3-minute video explaining what the software would do. That video got them 75,000 signups overnight. Build the absolute minimum feature set to test your hypothesis. If it feels complete, you waited too long. Lesson 3. Validated learning. Revenue is a vanity metric early on. Learning is the real unit of progress. How do you know if you're making progress? Most people look at lines of code written or hours worked. Those are useless. Reese introduces validated learning. This is the process of demonstrating empirically that a team has discovered valuable truths about a customer's prospects. Did you prove that people will click the button? Did you prove they will pay $5? Treat your business like a science experiment. Start with a hypothesis. I believe customers will pay for X. Then, run a test to prove it true or false. If you can't validate it, you aren't building a business. You're just practicing a hobby. Lesson 4. The Concierge MVP. Don't write code until you have done it by hand. Do you want to build an AI that creates meal plans? Don't hire developers yet. Find one customer, go to their house, buy their groceries, and cook for them. This is the Concierge MVP. You deliver the service manually to a single customer to understand exactly what they need. It's unscalable, and that's the point. Learn the friction points before you automate them. If you can't make one person happy by doing it manually, no amount of software will make 1 million people happy. Do things that don't scale first, so you can scale things that work later. Lesson 5. Kill the vanity metrics. Vanity metrics make you feel good. Actionable metrics make you money. Startups love vanity metrics. These are numbers like total registered users or total page views. They always go up and to the right, even if your business is failing. They are dangerous because they make you feel successful. Instead, focus on actionable metrics or cohort metrics. Look at retention rate or conversion rate per user. If you have 1 million users but only 1% come back, you have a leaky bucket. Ignore the ego numbers. Focus on the engagement numbers that tell you the truth about your product's health. Lesson 6. The pivot. A pivot is a change in strategy without a change in vision. What happens when your data tells you that nobody wants your product? You don't quit, you pivot. This keeps one foot rooted in what you've learned while shifting the other foot to a new direction. Maybe you change the customer segment, zoom out pivot. Maybe you turn one feature into the whole product, zoom in pivot. YouTube started as a video dating site. Slack started as a video game. They succeeded because they were willing to kill their original idea to save the company. Schedule a pivot or persevere meeting every month. If you aren't growing, change direction. Lesson 7. Split testing, A/B testing. Stop arguing about what customers want. Let them tell you. How many meetings have you sat in where two people argue about whether the button should be red or blue? Stop arguing. Use split testing. Show version A to half your users and version B to the other half. Let the data decide. This removes politics and ego from decision-making. If you aren't testing, you are guessing. Every feature, every headline, and every price point should be a split test. The customers are the judges, not the CEO. Lesson 8. Small batches. Working in large batches hides quality problems. Traditional manufacturing says, make 1,000 parts at a time to be efficient. Lean says, make one part at a time. Why? Because if you make 1,000 parts and find a defect, you have to throw them all away. Reese calls this small batches. In software, this means deploying code 50 times a day rather than once a month. If you break something, you know exactly what caused it and you can fix it instantly. It feels slower to work on one thing at a time, but it drastically reduces the time spent fixing massive errors later. Lesson 9. The 5 whys. Behind every technical problem is a human problem. When something goes wrong, like the server crashing, most people fix the server and move on. Reese suggests using the 5 whys. Ask why 5 times to find the root cause. Why did the server crash? Because we pushed bad code. Why was bad code pushed? Because there was no test. Why no test? Because the engineer was new. Why was the new engineer untrained? Because there was no training manual. Why no manual? Because we prioritize speed over documentation. Now you know the real problem isn't the server, it's your onboarding process. Fix the system, not just the symptom. Lesson 10. Get out of the building. There are no facts inside the building, only opinions. This is the golden rule of the lean startup. You cannot learn about your customers while sitting at your desk. You have to get out of the building. Go talk to actual humans. Watch them try to use your product. Ask them about their problems. You will learn more in one afternoon of face-to-face conversation than in a year of market research reports. If you haven't spoken to a customer this week, you aren't running a startup. You're writing fiction. If you found these 10 lessons helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, keep reading, and I'll see you in the next summary.